China is a decisive enabler of Russia's war against Ukraine, NATO allies have said at their summit in Washington to mark 75 years of the defensive alliance. The group has hardened its stance on Beijing over China's trade with Russia, accusing it of supplying Moscow with so-called dual-use goods, components that support Putin's war machine. Deputy Secretary General of NATO Mircea Geoană tells Euronews that China is a threat to Europe.
A lot of Russia's reconstitution of its armed forces is coming via China. So China is a major enabler, the enabler of Russia's war against Ukraine. We see Iran, we see North Korea, we see a coordination among these countries and Belarus and a few others. So we can look at the situation as we want, but the reality is that there is a pattern of aggressiveness basically fueling the war of Russia in Ukraine. So this means that China is a threat to our security. It means that, of course, they put challenges in many other places, but for us, with war in Europe, China, Iran, Korea helping Russia so dramatically in waging war against Ukraine, against European security, makes China, a partner of Russia that is seen by NATO with more severity than before.
China has responded essentially saying this is very provocative language. Where will this lead to?
And I have to say that the language that we have adopted is also, a more clear language, but also a careful language. We're not declaring China as our enemy. It is not. They are a serious challenge to European security, and this is a fact. And of course, the fact that there is no limit partnership between Russia and China is deepening and becoming more complex, together with the other countries like Iran and North Korea, is adding these issues. Of course, you have not seen in our statement, in our final declaration, any direct actions by NATO, because we are a security organization.
Well, we're seeing in Gaza children having their arms and legs amputated with no anaesthetic, starvation, dozens of children being killed every single day, and no criticism from NATO countries, despite the fact that they say they promote the rules-based system. Is there double standards in this?
As NATO, we are basically not involved in this conflict, and that's why as an institution we are relatively, moderate in what we say. But we see allies all calling from the US all the way to a few allies that have been recognizing the state of Palestine in various forms and shades, basically asking for one thing: let's this war stop. Let's have some form of cessation of hostilities, exchange, bring the hostages back, and try to avoid escalation in the Middle East, which will be also another big trouble for us.